This is the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
You're inside Jamaica Magazine.
Encouraging the information flow, sharing the news and views you need to know.
We are building an informed Jamaica every day.
Listening to what you say.
It is Tuesday, January 26th. Hi there, I am Alison Watson and you are inside Jamaica Magazine. In today's newscast, Tourism Ministry launches ad campaign using the fastest man in the world. Increased police training planned for this year, and Customs Department moves aggressively to improve revenues and efficiency this year. The news in detail after this break.
Broken homes, broken people, desolation, desperation. Just 300 miles away, our brothers and sisters in Haiti are crying for help, our help, your help. Join the JIS and the ODPEM as we collect canned food and other non-perishable items for the earthquake victims in Haiti. Their lives depend on it. Leave your donations at the JIS, 58A Halfway Tree Road, Kingston 10, Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Or take your gifts to the ODPEM, 2 to 4 Haining Road, Kingston 5, Monday to Saturday, 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Sundays, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Or make cash donations at any branch of NCB, account number 212387304. Together we can make a difference. Together, we can help Haiti.
And now the news. The Ministry of Tourism has launched the Usain Bolt Jamaica advertising campaign. The campaign is aimed at increasing visitor arrivals for the winter tourist season and beyond, and will be carried out in the United States, Canada and Europe. Speaking at the function, the Tourism Minister, Edmund Bartlett, says the campaign will help the ministry to achieve its target for visitor arrivals and revenues.
From this particular ad, which will commence on the 8th of February, we'll be able to drive the objectives of what the tourism outturn must be. As we have said it, a drive for 5 million visitors earning $5 billion in 5 years.
Minister Bartlett adds that the government is grateful for the assistance of Usain Bolt, who has been an outstanding athlete.
Most athletes of international celebrity status would want to require so much to use their images and to be able to use the power of their own athletic ability in presenting destination images. Usain Bolt, when he was approached, first by the Prime Minister and then by yours truly, responded with great generosity of spirit. In fact, he said to me, Minister, this will all be done for Jamaica pro bono.
In the meantime, Prime Minister Bruce Golding commended Bolt and the Tourism Ministry for developing the advertising campaign. He says despite Jamaica's many challenges, tourism is doing well.
Despite the global slowdown that have seen some of the prime travel destinations of the world recording slippages of 10 and 15 and 20%. We have been able to swim against the tide, and we have been able to not only maintain but in fact increase visitor arrivals to Jamaica.
The Usain Bolt Jamaica advertising campaign is expected to increase the awareness of brand Jamaica. The Ministry of National Security is placing increased focus on the training of police officers this year. Minister Dwight Nelson says $100 million has been identified to start the construction of classrooms and dormitories at the Police Academy in Twickenham Park in St. Catherine. He was making his contribution to the 2009-2010 State of the Nation debate in the Senate on Friday.
The ratio of police officers to citizens in Jamaica remains one of the lowest in the Caribbean and indeed in the world. So, President, we have a responsibility, given the fight, given the war against a growing and increasingly sophisticated criminal network, to ensure that we make a career in law enforcement attractive to Jamaicans from all social classes.
The minister told the Senate that construction should start later this year on a firearm and tactical training unit. Jointly funded by the governments of Jamaica and Britain, that project will cost $127 million. Meanwhile, the ministry has intensified the training courses offered at the JCF Staff College. Those and other training activities for 2010 will be building on the significant progress made last year in this and other areas. The Jamaica Police Academy in Tranquility Bay in St. Elizabeth, which was operationalized in 2009, has helped to boost the number of recruits. Minister Nelson says already this year, 241 recruits have been enlisted at the Tranquility Bay and Twickenham Park training facilities. That's in addition to the 566 regular constables and 146 district constables that passed out of those facilities last year. We'll have more on the work done by the Ministry of National Security in 2009 later on in the magazine. The Customs Department will be moving aggressively this year to strengthen partnerships with stakeholders to improve its service and increase revenue. That's the word from the Commissioner of Customs, Danville Walker.
We recognize that much of the problems faced in the nation stems from a disconnecting communication and cooperation with key stakeholders. So throughout this year and throughout this week, we'll be having functions to make sure that we connect even more with our stakeholders and be able to find out what are the issues that they want customs to address.
Mr. Walker was speaking at a church service on the weekend to launch Customs Week, which is being observed from January 23 to 29. Several activities have been planned to reflect the theme, Customs and Business Improving Performance Through Partnership. The Commissioner of Customs says high on the department's agenda this year is the regulation of customs brokers, improved border protection, and continued dialogue on the implementation of a port community system. Customs will also be working on improving its communication and customer service, implementing an e-manifest in Montego Bay, and continuing to review and streamline its procedures to facilitate trade. In the meantime, today is being observed globally as International Customs Day. Jamaica is among 170 member countries of the World Customs Organization that celebrate the day. The National Irrigation Development Program, NIDP, expects to begin inviting tenders for its new forest irrigation scheme in Manchester by March or April of this year. NIDP Senior Engineer Winston Boyne gave JIS News the update during a recent interview. He says the contract that will be going to tender involves the installation of pipelines, pumping and electrical equipment. The aim is to complete that process by the end of this calendar year so the farmers can have the water they need.
That's about 368 hectares with over 300 farmers. We have drilled 4 wells and tested those wells. One of the wells is not very useful in that the water quality is not very good. But the other 3 wells, we have got enough water that we can irrigate the 368 hectares.
Mr. Boyne says a survey is now being done to help farmers in the area establish ownership of the lands on which they operate. Meanwhile, the NIDP is also carrying out irrigation works in Yallah's St. Thomas.
That's a tricky scheme. We have the Hearties well, which we have completed testing, and the Norris well, we should start testing this week. But in the Yallah scheme, it involves water, taking water from the the river to support the wells. The wells will only be used